Okay, so let's start with 5 minutes. Find a comfortable position, seated, lying, kneeling, whatever, child's pose, anything. Just allow your body to settle into the posture. Place the hands somewhere they can rest easily. And then we have that option of lowering the gaze or closing the eyes. If you're feeling dizzy or tired, sometimes lowering the gaze might be easier. Just start to become aware of the body settling and the breath moving. Start to track the movement of the breath in through the nose, over the throat, filling the lungs, following that movement back out over the throat, out through the nose. And then see if you can sense it in the torso, maybe in the bottom of the ribs, top of the belly. Sense of expansion on that inhale, and a softening, a release on the exhale. Just following that beautiful movement, coming and going, rising and falling. And then keeping that sense of awareness with the breath, just expand a little bit to the whole body. See yourself sat here in your own space. Feel the feet on the floor, the knees angle, the hands on the legs. Your sitting bones on your seat, and the spine rising all the way up to the crown. And then we get a sense of softening each time we breathe out, down through the front space of the body. Each time you breathe out, just relax down is whenever the awareness drifts up into the thought stream. Just notice and gently bring it back to the movement of the breath, rising and falling. It's not a failure. Whenever you notice, it means that you're awake and connected enough to know when your awareness has drifted up. So each time you notice you're thinking is actually a moment you should be, maybe even congratulate yourself, but definitely not judge. So just making sure everyone's muted, sorry. Let's just release from that and come into child's pose, just for a few breaths. Bring your bolster in or your cushion, whatever you've got. Hug it in, make it really nice and soft. And just release. Have a little fidget, have a little movement, and then just settle in. And again, just start to become aware of the breath moving and the posture. Child's pose, nice, can be quite calming, introspective. And I also like to think of it as taking a bow. You know, almost in a respectful way. Taking a bow to the practice, taking a bow to yourself for taking the time out. Let's release up. We'll come into a little bit of movement just to ease out before we do some more still poses. So just find a nice, easy, either cross-legged or kneeling, both work. And then we're just going to open the spine, so we're going to breathe in, we're going to lift up the arms, bend at the elbows, arch the back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then we breathe out and we round into a ball. You can sort of roll back a little bit, round your spine, Breathe in, open up. Heart lifts, we get a back bend. Shoulder squeeze. Breathe out, roll it all in towards the belly button. Breathe in, elevate. Breathe out. Breathing in, opening like those petals. Someone was telling me about crocuses coming out in the day and then closing up in the evening. Just get a little bit of movement through the spine and the shoulders. And let's release. Let's bring the hands out to the side. Breathe in, and then we're going to breathe out. Plant the right hand, or whichever hand. Stretch up with the other. Bring the arm over softly, so we make a little bit of a crescent moon shape. Breathe in, lengthen up. Breathe out, plant hand, stretch up and around. Breathe in. Breathe out. You can even bend the elbow when you plant the hand. Bend the elbow and come even lower if that feels nice. Making it into almost a dance. We sweep the arms up and over, feeling that connection as we root the hand. And the shape as we move into the edge of the stretch. One more, each side. Finishing. I've got my left hand down, but don't worry too much. And we release. Just give the head a little tiny roll around. Roll it the other way. And then let's do some twists. So breathe in, think about that length up through the spine, and then we breathe out. Right hand, left knee, left hand behind. Twist from the waist. Breathe into the middle, release. Lengthen first and then twist round to the other side. So we're going round to right hand on left knee. Plant the hand, we twist around. Pause here. And then just turn your head slowly to look over or towards the right shoulder. And then gently roll it back. Release from the twist. Breath in, breathe out. Plant, and then turn the neck slowly, turn the head. Nice juicy squeeze, release, and then release back to the front. Let's take the right leg out and the left foot in. Settle here for a moment, and then we're going to turn so that we're over that straight leg. Just gently, softly start to make a little gliding movement over to the other side and back up, Almost like you're stirring a pot, a big pot. You could bring the hands together and imagine you are stirring a huge pot of something nice. One more. And then we come to here, the straight leg, and we just, until you feel that stretch up the back and up the inside of the leg. And then you can just drop your head and soften into it for a breath. And then just walk around into the middle, so your arms are out in front. Maybe if you're not anywhere near the floor, you can use a bolster or a block here, or you can just plant the hands down, feel the stretch, release the head, take a breath. And then pad back up, maybe walk the hands in a little bit, and then over to that bent knee. Take a little bow here as well. And then back up we come, and we'll do a little Stargazer Flow. So we roll down, roll around, plant my left hand anywhere behind that feels natural, and then option to stay here and just raise the hand up, or we lift the hips, maybe that right foot's coming down, lift the hands, spread through the fingers, twinkle, think of it being a star, just gazing up at that star, lifting up, and then we return, come down, sweep all the way around. Settle here for a breath. Don't worry about how low you're getting here. Let's sweep back round. As long as you're feeling a stretch, then you're doing it. Lifting up, we gaze upward, and then we come down. And one more sweep around to this leg. And we release. And then we swap the feet around. And decide where you want this foot. You know, sometimes even just a small adjustment can make a huge difference. So whether you have the foot right in or whether you have it flexed, you don't want any twinging in the knee. And then we turn and we do that big movement as if we're stirring a big pot. So I like to breathe out as I'm going down and around, and breathe in as I come upwards. But it doesn't really matter as long as you're aware of your breath and aware of the movement. And then let's pause over the straight leg. So again, adjust, move your hips around. If you feel like you can't turn over that straight leg, move your hips around, move that knee in so that you're more over the straight leg. Maybe that feels better for you. We breathe, and then we pad over into the middle. Maybe this is where you take that knee back out. Take a breath here. And then gently moving the hands around over that bent knee. Don't know about you, but it feels a little bit easier on this side. And then let's do the flow. So we sweep the hands around the straight leg, around the floor, plant the right hand behind you on the floor, lift the hand, and then maybe you're lifting the hips too. Stretching up, gazing up, stretching through the fingers, and then we release back down. We sweep over the bent leg round to that straight leg. A little dip here, and then back we go around. Plant the right hand, lift, elevate, not just the body but the heart and the spirits. Stretch up from that armpit, release down, over that straight leg. And I can't remember how many we did, but I'm sure we won't burst into flames if we do 2 on one side and 3 on the other. And release all the way down. Let's bring those legs out to the sides. And just have a little fidget first. I like to pick my hips up, send my bum back a little bit, so get rid of some of that flesh. Maybe have a little waggle of your legs, help just release any tension. And then we're going to take, traditionally known as dragonfly, but for the purposes of tonight, let's call it a folded star. So again, use those bolsters if you want. Use anything that helps you to relax into it, whether you are upwards like so, or whether you're releasing with your head down. You can have a block on top of the bolster and prop your head. There's lots of options. No, we don't all need to look the same. Just find your Goldilocks position, the one that's just right for you. Have a fidget if you need to. It's the nice thing about being at home, is that we can do that without having to worry about disturbing others that are in the same room with you. And I'll read you a poem. So, full moon on Saturday it was, and it's been lighting up the sky. It was really bright last night, so I thought we'd do a full moon yin session tonight, and I've got some poems here somewhere. Now this is a short one. It's quite old. It's from the 6th century. The Moon, it's called. The stars about the lovely moon fade back and vanish very soon, when round and full her silver face swims into sight and lights all space. And that was Sappho. So remember, in yin we just melt into the pose, make it as comfortable as we can with those props. as we spend time in it, we start to release into it, we start to soften, muscles let go. Now this is a recent poem from last year when we first went into lockdown. It's called Full Moon. The moon was in self-isolation too, and wearing a white mask as it passed us in an aisle of the night, keeping its distance. It was pushing a cart heaped up with stars, far more stars than any moon could ever need. The cart sparkling, a few little stars falling out, left behind as the moon rolled past on its way toward eternity's checkout. That was by someone called Ted Kusa. So let's release from this now, softly, slowly, been there for a while. And let's take our first rebound. We'll come to lie on your back if that's comfortable. And try pentacle or star shape. So if it feels okay, legs out, arms out, take that star shape. If it doesn't work for you, take a shape that does. Maybe child's pose. If you're in star, feel the expansiveness of the posture, that openness. Feeling those small changes, cellular regeneration. Notice what you notice. And then if you leave your left foot where you are, if you're in star, we're going to take the right foot over too. Walk the feet over basically to your left corner of your mat. And then shuffle the upper body over a little bit. And it's up to you where you have your arms. Some people have them out to the side. Some people have them above the head. Some people have them on the belly or one above the head to keep that stretch and one on the belly. But you want to feel that crescent shape again. Feel the stretch from the right armpit down to the left. If you can't feel it, then move either your upper over more or your lower over more. You want both hips on the floor and both shoulders on the floor. You can hook one foot over the other to kind of anchor into the posture. See if that helps. We'll take a few minutes here full moon, it's full, it's abundant, it's at the end of the cycle, it's in its fullest point, maybe even possibly over brimming. So they say it's a good time to release stuff you don't want, let go of things, people, situations, behaviour, anything that's maybe holding you back, stopping you from shining your own light, just like that moon. And there's something about the fullness as well, and the brightness of the moon at this time of year. I think I was in the garden and I was thinking how everything is kind of revealed at this time of year. You start to notice, there's patches of the garden that have sprung back to life, and you suddenly notice little things like a primrose growing. It's a good time to be aware of any signs the universe might be sending us. Let's release slowly back to the middle. Just walk the feet over a little bit. Maybe you need a little hug in here, a little sway, a little reset. And then take the legs long. You can take your star if you want, or you can just lie flat. Relax for a few moments, and again it's the rebound. So you might notice the most obvious is the difference between the two sides of the body. And then we walk those feet over to the other corner till you feel it's about right, and then maybe the upper body shuffles over. I like to put my head down, pick my shoulders up, and just move bits out of the way, and again put your hands wherever feels right for you. Feeling that stretch, the left side of the torso. Maybe hooking those one foot on top of the other, maybe not. always feel free to release early if it feels too much. Take an early rebound, take a longer rebound. Let's slowly release. Come back into the middle. Draw the knees in. Have a little sway. Let's have a circle. Take the arms long. Small circle with the knees. Circle the other way. And then hopefully you've got enough room. I'm just going to swing around here to bring your legs out. Now, if this is too much with straight, bend your knees immediately, take the pressure off, and also you can support it with your hands on the backs of the legs. If you want, you can straighten the legs a little bit more, not completely locked out. And just take a little sway side to side. So remember, either straight legs, no hands, maybe on the belly, maybe out to the side into that star. Open out, expand outwards. We get this rocking movement through the hips. Easing out the tension. And we're getting those benefits of the blood flowing the opposite direction. Feeding the heart, feeding the brain. And then maybe, see how you feel about this. Again, remember there's the option here to bend the knees and bring the knees into the chest. If you want to, try taking the right leg over. Maybe you can put a block there or a bolster. Maybe you can get it over, and then maybe that top one can come down. See how it feels in the back. I mean, I love it. It feels just really open, but if it feels good, relax here for a few breaths. If not, remember, I'll show you. You bend the knees and you take the knees over, and again, prop it. Grab a block, grab a blanket, whatever, and place your knees over like that. So then you can straighten maybe, or maybe a bit of in between straight and bent. And then we're going to slowly lift that top leg, whether it's bent or straight. Let the other leg come up whenever it feels like it with it. Come back to our little sway in the middle, just a tiny one here. Whether straight or bent, we go to the other side. Left foot starts to come down. Maybe the right will go on top. Maybe you need a bit more support. The other option is you can bend that top right leg and bring the right foot down on the floor. So we take a few breaths, we slide into the posture. Let's slowly release. Bent or straight, bring that right top leg up, let the other leg follow. And a little sway out. And then bend the knees, hug the knees in. Maybe even clasp the hands so that you can just hang out there, hugging the knees in without too much effort. Just check what the time is. Yeah, okay, so then we're going to softly, slowly, oops, unfurl, uncurl. Take the feet down first. Maybe just lift the hips a little bit and then pad them back down. And then maybe taking the feet nice and long and out into that star. Or maybe after that child's pose again, just to release for a few breaths and then start to settle into your Shavasana. Relax, get yourself snuggled in, blanket, eye pillow. So making those last adjustments. Feeling the body settle onto the mat. Feeling those points of contact, the back of the head, backs of the shoulders, back of the arms, elbows, hands, the lower back, backs of the legs, and the feet. And starting to feel a heaviness starting to spread through the feet, heels becoming heavy, calves melting into the floor, the backs of the thighs heavy as those big muscles release. And the as though someone's placed a nice heavy, warm blanket. And that feeling of heaviness continues up through the back, middle of the back, the upper back, the shoulders, becoming heavier and heavier, and that heaviness moving down through the elbows, the forearms, and the wrists, each hand becoming heavy. And as the shoulders become heavy, the neck can relax and release as the head becomes still, grounded, supported. And that gentle heaviness, softly allowing the face to melt, to soften. All down through the face, the eyelids becoming heavy, the cheekbones are heavy, the jaw is heavy, both collarbones are heavy. The chest and the belly softening under that soft, gentle weight. The whole body is heavy. The whole body, the whole body. is on the floor. Become aware of the body becoming lighter and lighter. So light, it could even gently float. Just like a feather on a soft breeze. Imagine the palms becoming light, so light they start to float. Imagine the feet becoming light, and the legs, and the knees, and the hips becoming so light, like candy floss. And the whole of the belly, and the back, and the ribs, and the sides, all becoming so light. Into the shoulders and the arms, the neck and the head. And then feel yourself settling back on the floor, just in the same way that feather floats gently down and then nestles upon the earth. Before we end the practice, now's a good time to repeat any affirmations you've got going at the moment. Any resolutions, any little mantras that are helping you to grow. It can be something as simple as I am enough. I am strong. Or it could be something, very personal that maybe nobody else would understand. Like dig deep. Dig deep was one of mine for a while. So find your affirmation or use one of mine. Repeat it. Place that little seed in your heart. then start to become aware of your body lying in your space, the environment you're in, sounds filtering back in. Maybe have a little stretch out, or have a hug in, or a little sway, or roll onto a side. And then if you are ready, you can make your way back up to seated. Let's rub the hands together in gratitude. Anything, one thing, anything that comes into your mind. And then place the hands over the eyes. Take a nice deep breath in. And as we breathe out, release the hands down. And we say namaste. Thank you.